Greetings. I am Tabin of a Mind Transformed, and this is Manna for Your Journey. One of the things that's hard for people to discover as they walk with God, draw closer to Christ, is what is their purpose or what they're supposed to do. And oftentimes we make purpose far greater or far bigger, far more complex than it is at times. Just purpose could be in a calling, tapping into gifting, walking out a certain area of ministry, starting something, birthing something, as they say. Or it could even be much simpler. We all have a purpose that God places in us, but we all have a similar thing that we're supposed to do, which is love people. And oftentimes, that purpose is greatly overlooked. The best example of this is told with the story of Jesus telling the parable or the story of the Good Samaritan. Quick recap for those that don't know. There was a man who took a fairly dangerous road, the road that you shouldn't travel by yourself and you shouldn't travel at night. And yet he did both of these things. He was fell upon by thieves or bandits, robbed and left for dead. During the day, a priest walks by on his way somewhere, and he crosses over to the other side of the road, doesn't even get close to the man, passes by. Now, maybe that priest felt he was too busy. And that represents people who are so focused on themselves, are so focused on what God has them to do, some purpose in a building or a place or something, that they miss ministry that happens along the way. This particular priest was so caught up in what he had to do, what God maybe had called him to do, where he was headed, his plans, what he wanted and what he desired was far more important than loving that person on the side of the road. So next, a Levite walks by. He gets close enough to the man to see what's going on, doesn't help him. He too passes by on the other side of the road as well. This Levite represents people in the church who want to get close enough to mess just to find out about it so they can talk about it and tell other people. They don't want to do anything about it. They don't want to help. They don't want to pray. They don't want to love the person through it. They don't want to offer advice. They don't want to do anything at all. They get close enough to the mess to identify it, see who's in it, and then go off and tell people. Unfortunately, this could be people with titles, people's in high places, high positions. This person is a Levite called to temple worship, to temple purpose, got close enough to find out what was going on, walked on. But then there was a certain man who is implied to not be a Jew. A certain man comes along, no title, no position, sees that man on the side of the road and decides to help him. Doesn't judge him, doesn't say, you should have known better, this road is dangerous, you shouldn't have traveled, doesn't beat him over the head with his faults or his failures, but he literally loves him back to life, gives us his resources, loves that man, helps him, takes care of him, provides for him in that moment, gives him what he needs. That man basically becomes a trauma center for this individual that's on the road dying. That's the purpose that all of us are supposed to have. We are supposed to be the trauma center for Jesus Christ. That we are supposed to love those who are literally dying, love them back to life. Love those who are dying in a sense of whether that's spiritually, whether that's emotionally, mentally, people that are dying physically, people that are going through a rough patch and a bad time. We're supposed to be the trauma center for them, that we can love and care for them and then turn them over to Christ. We're supposed to be able to do that. That's the purpose that all of us as Christians have. But that's the purpose that often gets lost in the busyness of the day and us being more concerned about our lives, our things, our individual purpose, trying to achieve some level of greatness in God. That we don't take the time to love the people that need it most. And in today's world, you don't know who you may walk past, like this man on the road who was literally dying, that would have been his final moments on earth had this other man not stopped to help him. Who are we walking past that's contemplating giving it up, that's contemplating ending it all, that's contemplating walking away from something, but we're too busy to take a few minutes to love them, too busy to pour out of what we have? And that may not be material things or money, resources. That could be a testimony, a kind word, a hug, a smile, a laugh, a gesture to show them that they matter and they are loved, so that they can come to Christ. We are the trauma center. But are we being the priest or the Levite? Or we actually, the man that stopped to help, he was on his way somewhere. He had something to do. He still stopped. He gave of his time, his talent as a treasury to someone that needed the most. He didn't get any applause for it. We don't even know his name. The person didn't even regain consciousness to thank him. But that man did it anyway because it was the right thing to do. Who are you? The priest, the Levite, or the trauma center? Well, that's all I have for you today. Again, my name is Tabin of A Mind Transformed. This has been Manna for Your Journey. Be blessed.